Hi and welcome to How to Use CAD. Today we're going to do part 2 follow-up to how to draw bungalow house plans in TurboCAD. Part 1 was great and really enjoyable to do, but because it took a while I figured it was better to break this tutorial into 2 rather than create a very long video. Now that we have the basic plans for today's tutorial, we can look to expand and modernize by changing the layouts and creating far more appealing living space. Stay with me and see how it turned out. Right, so this is part 2 of a two-part tutorial for drawing a bungalow, how to draw a house in TurboCAD, but specifically how to draw a bungalow in TurboCAD. So on the first part, if you have, hopefully you've watched the video on that. Because it is on YouTube, but if you watched it, you will have seen me create a floor plan based on the existing, and you will have seen me scale up the PDF and then create this layout from the old PDF. Now, if we look at the actual layout of the property, it's pretty poor because it was built probably in the 50s and 60s, maybe 70s, but it's pretty old-fashioned, and it's an old-fashioned bungalow. Front door, hallway, kitchen which is isolated from everything, lounge here, bathroom, separate WC, small bedroom, another small bedroom. So it's a 3-bed bungalow. Standard door going in, recessed open porch. Then you had garage here on the side. So it's really dull and boring, and would have been perfect back in the 60s and so on. But in today's age, what we tend to do is modernize these bungalows. But it's a question of how we do it. So in some cases, you'll go out the end and stretch the roof over. Others you might go out at the back here or at the back on this side, or depends what you're after. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's ripe for modernizing, and obviously any modernization will be subject to the environment it's in and where you have the space, etc. So what I've done now is I've actually done a version of a modernization. So let me just bring this up a bit so we can get a better look at it. So what you can see now is I've taken it out and I've given a 5-meter extension across here. So if I keep the two of them together, let's see if I can do that. We can get a better look. There you go. So yeah, the old kitchen, all gone. It's all these walls I've taken out, and then I've extended. So to create one big lounge, open plan, kitchen, modern dining area. This can be recreational here. It can be anything you want. You know, it can be a couch. It can be a play area for the kids. It can be a whole range of things. And clearly, we're going to have to put some doors in here. So at the moment we don't have any doors or windows, external doors or windows installed, because I thought maybe if we have time you're going to help me do that. But getting the layout right, so all I did here was we're using the same door, or not, are we? We're using the same door? Looks to be further up. Let me just check on that. Yeah, no, we're not using the same door. So what I've done is I've bashed this wall out and this one, and then moved the hallway. So the hallway is enlarged. As you can see, it's gone up here. Hallway is enlarged. We've got a single door going in. Now it's very tempting to do a double door here. In other words, make it like French doors opening in. Or even we could open it up to there and then do sliding doors. But if you did sliding doors, we'd have to bring the door down. And what you're doing here is you're destroying the area where the couch is going to be, because you got a fireplace here. We've put in a fireplace. There wasn't one on the bungalow, so we've put in a, sorry, let me get this back in shape. Yeah, I put in a chimney stack and a fireplace. And of course, you know, depending on your environment and where you are, this can be also, well, it can be a range of different types of fireplace, whether it's gas, oil, or wood, or whatever. And again, some people like to put the TV on top, on a tilt perhaps, so you're not killing yourself looking up at it. Others will pop the TV in here. It's all up to you, but either way, this is couch area. This really is a couch area. So much as I'd like to increase the size of this door and make it more inviting, you have to make a decision as to whether you want to pull the couch back into the corner, and I really don't want to do that. So anyway, there you go. So coming in, because the door has to open in a direction, and I like it to open so that when you stand in the threshold, that you can see, you know, you got this view, you can see all of this, and that you don't have to come into the room, as in stand here, to now see a diminished view of the room, because you're now looking at it from here, which is about almost about a meter less. So the modern trend seems to be able to look from the threshold, see the whole room from the threshold. So because I've done that, then I decided I will pull this wall out a bit more so that we could have a little return on the kitchen. And of course, it's up to you. You're designing it, you do whatever you want, but that's what I opted for. Now here we have, what is it, 3 meter, a 3 meter run of kitchen units and so on. Ample space to get the kitchen sink in, or to get the oven and hob. Seems to be very fashionable these days to get the island in, and to even get an induction hob going here, or to get a sink in. But again, it's all about the kitchen design, but there's enough space for it. And then on the other side, it's a range of perhaps tall larder units, etc. on both ends here, and then a big double fridge freezer in the center, which again seems to be a very popular thing to do. So there's a lovely, easygoing, free-flowing layout here. A couple of stools here. If you want, you can extend. So at the moment, the island is 1200. What that means is you've got a 600 unit coming here, so this area is full up. But now if you wanted to, you can put another 300, a range of 300 units along here, so you have even more storage. So that gives you the option. You can reduce it down, the island down to 9. You can do a waterfall on it. You can do a whole range of things. Like, these are pretty square, where sometimes they look nice if there's a radius on them, or if there's a curve. So you know, you have to think hard about what it is you want. But the space is generally well laid out. So if we go back into the hallway now, whereas before we had an old-fashioned bathroom and separate loo, here we have a much better family bathroom, which is, you got the bathroom, and you got which is standard size, 1700 long, 700 wide. Generous size for the actual WC and the basin, or basin and pedestal. It depends how you want to do this. You can do a whole range of you can work this a whole range of different ways, but generally speaking, that's the space allocated for a loo and for a sink. Here there's a 900 by 900 little drop into the floor, and you got a lovely walk-in shower. And again, if you wanted to make the glass screen 10, 11, it's up to you. If you wanted to make the shower longer, it's up to you. But you do have the space. Right, come on back out. In the hallway still. So first door from the hallway. Well, this, in my view, is a study. Workroom, study, home office. It's again, it's an important area for a family home. You can use it for anything you want, but it's not huge, but make a lovely office. Yeah, make a lovely family office, or home office. Right. So if we go down the hallway, sorry, we have some nut on a motorbike outside, but can't be helped. I'm certainly not going to edit that out. So here we are. Bedroom, this would be one bedroom, which is now generous wardrobes, generous enough space-wise. Obviously windows have to go in. Back out. Next bedroom, similar size, just perhaps a touch wider. Again, built-in wardrobes all the way across, another window, etc. Back out, bedroom 3. So bedroom 3, again, decent size, lovely built-in wardrobes again. So if you actually compare this to the original house, this is basically where the garage used to be, so we've taken out all of that wall for the garage. We've pushed down. So instead of a tiny bedroom, smallish, well, a reasonable bedroom, all of these bedrooms are bigger. So what we have now is we have a master bedroom with ensuite, and this one we definitely want to pop in French doors to the garden, which would look much better. And so we have a master bedroom with ensuite, generous room here. So we have 3 generous full-size double bedrooms, whereas this one was certainly debatable. So in other words, you could say 2 doubles and a single. Now it's 3 doubles, which will definitely add a little bit more value to the property. So layout, way more modern, way more desirable for modern living. We can put the doors in, we can put the French doors in here, and then we can do the bifolds, I think, across here. So what I've done and what I normally do is I harvest bits from, well, I can do blocks, but sometimes what I like to do is I like to just harvest a few bits from other drawings, and it's quicker for me to install that way. So if I was to do that, for example, I might move them in. Let's see, any French doors here in this one? French doors would be good. If not, we'll have to make them. Oh, set of French doors. There we go. So a set of French doors for the back here. Where am I? Down there. Yeah, set of French doors here. What else are we doing? We're going to modernize, like a front door. What are we doing for the front door? I'm just looking at these old drawings here to see if there was anything I can harvest instead of having to redraw stuff from scratch. On here, nope. Okay, that's about as much as we want to pinch for now. So let's just see how we're going to do this. So let's see what the length is first. So it's always nice to have a little return, because then it's going to be cheaper to build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in 5, tab 500, and tab 500, and here we go. So I think when I was doing part 1 of this, I was focusing a lot on using this menu, the drop down right click menu, using the line tools, modify and select, and it was virtually 99% of the time I was actually well, put it this way, the drawing was done with those tools, but it's just that I forgot, or occasionally I just went like so, or went here, and it ended up being it was an excellent video, but as I say, mostly built from the from the right click, which is excellent. Right, so what we're going to do here now, so normally you'd have a frame, yeah, so in other words, they don't just sit onto the wall. So what I normally do is I set back about 30 mil, then I come out 50, then I come down 100. This is just to make the frame, yeah. And let's do the same on the other side. So it's simpler to just come down 30, tab 50, tab 1, 100 and go back. And again, what I do, this is what I like to do, emphasize that that's the frame. You don't always do it, but it's a good habit to get into. And now, let's just shrink that down for a minute. And if I do so, that shouldn't be there, this piece. And let's do, there you go. Don't like them in black, so I'm going to grade them out. But that is your, there you go, that's your opening. That's your, what have I got, 6 doors, probably might end up in 5, but I'm not bothered with that at the moment. I'm representing the opening, and here what we're going to do French doors. So I would imagine the best way here would be a quick way here. I've got, there you go, I'm going to modify. Object trim, lose the rectangle, lose the line. In fact, I probably got it wrong here. Should have done another 50. So what I mean by that is, you'll see, tab 50, then come in tab 30, tab 50, tab 100, tab 50, there we go. Yeah, that looks fine. So if we copy out here, again do my D, and we're going to this point here. So now what we want is tab 30, tab 100, tab 30, and we should have our door and frame. So let me use another tool for that so you can just see how easy it is. Hopefully you know what tool I just used because I didn't explain it. So there you go, French doors and so on, out from the garden, which is quite lovely. But the thing is, you need a patio of some kind. So let's grab something from here. And right, so what are we going to do? We're going to do, how much patio we're going to do here? Well, let's see. Put that in the corner. Let's see where we're going to go. Chances are there's going to be a patio all the way around. It's a bungalow after all. So it may well be. Oops, daisy. Now you notice the way that joins up. The hatch joins automatically. It finds its way around. It's a lot more interesting when you put a little patio out there. So we need a bit for here as well. And if circumstances were different, you could in fact, what you could do is let it overlap a little there. Right, now, so what happens is you can curve this off, you can round it off, you can come down this side, you can go move it to the front. It all depends what you have. You have a front drive, you have a side drive, it depends on the location and so on. But it's always nice when you do the drawings if you add a bit more detail. So now What's missing here is at the front, we're going to have a door. Now the door, a standard door, front door is a bit bigger. So let's do it about 850, but we can do it directly from here. And we're going to use the parallel here, tab -100, and so if I go center, then I go tab 400, tab 4. This is probably the longer way of doing it, but that's what I'm in the mood for. Okay. Yeah, there's many ways to do it, especially in TurboCAD and AutoCAD, etc. You can do the same thing in 20 different ways. So at the moment, so we're building. So this, in fact, would probably, in my view, be a glaze panel here. So let's do that. Yeah. So tab. What am I? Which direction am I going? 50. Tab -50. Need to do the other as well. Tab 50. Tab -50. And I'm getting my tools from everywhere today. Let's use the. Am I on the right one? Yes. Tab 50. Tab -50. Gosh, that's a long one. But it gets the job done. So just extend that. You'll see why in a moment, why I've done that. There was another one here, so I've got it wrong. So this one, tab 50. And drag that out. So now let's just pop the door in. Door is going to open to the right. Oh, wrong door. Could open the other way, but for some reason or another I fancy the right. So the right it has to be. Now, all I can say is it's turning out quite nice, this drawing, and because of that I'd love to get paid for it, but I won't, simply because I'm doing it for you guys. Okay, so now I see the problem. Yeah. Nice one, Tom. You messed it up. So, there we go. For some reason or another, I miscalculated. Happens to all of us. It's part and parcel of designing anything. Is you're definitely going to put a few lines in you don't need, or put them in the wrong place, and then you have to take them back out again. But it's all part of the work we do as a technician, as a designer, architect, whatever you are. It's 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. That's how it is most of the time, but you do get there. Oops. So I'm not drawing too quick. I'm trying to explain a few moves as we go forward. Now, so I need tab 50. Tab -50. And this represents the glaze panel. Sometimes I do a blue section there, just for emphasis that it's glass, and emphasis that it's the frame. So now, and then depending on the project, you know, you tile this out, it's open, you put feature on it, you do bring it a border around, you do some planting and all that. So yeah, there's loads you can do to smarten up the drawings. And then don't forget, you can do all the fills as well. And by I mean fills, it means that you can fill up your lines. So what should we do? We drop this on the patio. Where is he sitting? Is he sitting out here? Yeah, sitting out there. Get it a little symmetric. There you go. So now you run a bit of fence down here, and then run a bit of fence down here. And you're starting to look right. But yeah, but at the moment it's a little bit too much concrete for my liking, so I'd probably curve off this, or curve it in the middle here, or I'd stagger it. You know, there's different ways of doing it. But the idea is for me just to give you a loose idea of how you could do stuff, rather than do every detail. So we'll get the color in there, light grey. Now what's left? Putting in the windows. I think you know how to put windows in, so I'm not really going to do that. What I would like to do now is say on a roof plan. I just discussed a roof plan. This is the layout. It is the original one. So all it is a bog standard bungalow roof, which meant that it had effectively, put on ortho. It had a line down the top, and you had a pitched roof at the front and a pitched roof at the back. If you had any bedrooms upstairs, you'd have dormers, but we don't. So it's just a very plain roof. Now on this one, I'll show you how I would do it. So generally speaking, this is the outline of the building. That's what I drew. But if I was putting the roof on, I'd extend it by 50 mil. Tab 50. And the reason is that the roof overhangs just a touch on the ends, on the apexes, yeah? And at the front and the back, where the roof pitches down, there's going to be a soffit and fascia board. So that soffit and fascia board is likely to be around 250 down. Oops, did I get that wrong? Tab 250. Oh no, I did the angle. Right, tab 250. So yeah, when you're doing the roof, all I'm suggesting is that don't forget to add on your soffits and fascia. So at the back here now it's the same. There'll be another 250 added for soffits. Tab 250, and that's going to run down. Right, so all will be explained, as they say. Don't know why. I was trying to show you another tool there, but doesn't want to know. Fine, it's on another work plane. Isn't that what it said? I forgive you. Now this one, likewise, keep the soffit going. What did we say? Tab 250, 250, and this bit. Ooh, yeah. Tab 250, tab minus 250. Right. What we're doing now is we're checking the roof out. This is the outline, and likewise this is going to be, the apex is going to be about 50 mil further out than the wall, tab 50. So, you know, as a young designer, it's easy to forget that the roof is a little bit bigger than the actual building, and you tend to, some people will do the roof exactly the same size, which of course it's not. It has to, you have to allow for the other bits and pieces, and in this case, let's see, you have to allow for, where are we going? Let's go on this one. Now, we're ready to go. Open porch would have been nice, sticking out at the front, maybe a couple of pillars. That would add loads of character. So it's, you know, bungalows can be quite dull and boring, so it's important to consider a few options, you know, on, like for example here now the bay could be curved, or you could even step it out a little if you wanted to. So just look at everything in detail. If it was a new build, you'd be getting out all the sundials and the sun maps to see which was the best layout for the building because of where the sun is and so on and so forth. So there's so many different ways of approaching this. Now, so if we take out the inside lines, take out the wall lines, we're going to have our outline for the actual roof. Okay, just put a line going through there. So I think that would be right. Pushing the wrong button there. Okay, so I'll take that away in just a second. I might as well take it away now and work it out how it's going to be. Right, so here, straight down the middle, here. We could make it subservient, which means it's slightly lower. That being the case, this ridge would stop about there, but we won't. So take off ortho, and then there we go. So that's what the house would end up looking like. That would be the roof plan for this building. There you go. Okay, there's not much more to show you, to be honest. So we started with an old PDF which I found on Rightmove. Brought it in, and I created a floor plan based on the PDF. And I can see it was an old unmodernized bungalow, old layout from the 60s or 50s. Horrible houses from the point of view of comfort, because concrete floors, no insulation, walls, no insulation, a little bit possibly on the roof, but possibly not also. So now here you got a modern bungalow fit for modern living. We could continue to pretty the drawing up. You know, you put in the boundaries, put in some fencing, put a car or two in the drive, put a pathway out to the roadway, fill in the walls, etc. Filling in the walls would be very easy. So for that, I'd probably end up doing one of my favorites, which would be this one. And probably do it in grey, light lightish grey, and then take the outline off. So basically, and then once I've done one, oops, daisy, getting excited. Right, so what we do there now, let me just undo. Now, make a copy, make a copy, make a copy, Control C. So when you're doing these, don't flip the next one over now, yeah? Because then it's not going to run properly. Don't turn it sideways. In other words, you want everything to link up nicely. So therefore, that's, I think the what I'm going to do is just change the brush. Oh, can't do the scale on this one. Yeah, too bad. Okay, so it stays that way. But you do this for all the walls, and what I was saying was, if you have a little short wall, don't flip this. Don't flip it vertical or horizontal. Just reshape so that you get a lovely continuity of flow within the fill. And you know, again, if I was looking now, I might put, sometimes I'll use a pink. I'll give you an example again. In fact, I'll use a magenta if sometimes I'll use it to show new walls. Where in other words, I do it all on grey, but where the walls are new, it'll help the planning officers and the builders and so on to instantly see what the new walls are. Sometimes when I'm going from existing to proposed, I'll leave an outline which is dotted lines to represent the old walls, and of course I can do that using layering, using layers, which means I can show or not show the flick of a mouse. That's about it. I don't think there's much more we can do on this now. You've stayed with me, watched, as I say, to see how we created a floor plan, a house plan for a bungalow from the old PDF here, and we've laid it out properly, and it was pretty accurate. And here now we've modernized, we've opened it up, given it that modern feel, made 3 fantastic bedrooms out of it, turned this little area here into a box room. Got a lovely family bathroom with bath and walk-in shower, and then we've got a lovely ensuite, doors to the garden, etc. Obviously windows still have to go in and so on, but there's loads you can do to finish this drawing off. And then afterwards add in a name for all the rooms, put in the square meterage and so on and so forth. But that's for another day. I hope you've got some really great value out of this. If you're a self-builder or a young designer, this will show you that it's not rocket science, and all you got to do is keep practicing with CAD, and using the PDFs is a great way of doing that. Okay, see you in the next lesson. Thanks for joining me.